How dare you describe my dinner? Redo the jokes.
Yes.
I'm gonna pull up my banter again. Here it is. Here's my banter. Oh, dig on myself.
Yeah.
All right. What?
Oh, let's. All right.
Oh, Kimpatsu. I was gonna watch Checkpoint. As soon as I started the first story, I got a call at work. Oh.
Womp womp. So, but seriously, I play a lot of Pokemon Go because I like to walk around, and sometimes you got to walk the baby around so she'll sleep, or sometimes the baby is asleep in the car and you don't want to move her, so you drive down to the local Pokemon hotspot and just sit on a lure, because other people throw up lures. I don't have to do it. So my Pokedex is at 121.
I gave back last night. I threw up a lure at
I've
Clipper
thrown
Point.
up a lure there before. But my Pokedex is 121. But I've caught, in all of that time, 5 Dratini. Also, where are all these Arcanines coming from? I've caught, the reason I have, if it wasn't for that 5k egg, I'd be nowhere near. And I'm still nowhere near. I still need 15 more candy.
Throw up a lure. Kathleen stares intently at the chat, little realizing that the chat is staring intently into her.
Are you two married?
We
No,
are.
I'm not married to Paul.
No, Paul and I are not married.
Nope.
We thought about it, but
I have 6 Arcanines.
Just complicated
Boo.
things.
yeah.
Well, Sector 88 says a park across from some sort of Dratini nest. Where are you?
Some people in the chat are making the other half of the same joke. They're like, yes, Graham and Paul are married. I mean, it's legal here, but it's not really what we're personally into.
I mean, you do your own thing, man. I don't try to judge the people who are really into foot stuff. There's a surprising amount of foot stuff. Oh, well, I'll talk about it. Well, I'll talk about it now, and we'll skip it again. But in that mod, the Wicked Woohoo, there's a lot of foot stuff.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I didn't.
It is
Like,
the most. I believe it is the most popular thing, other than the normal thing.
The normal thing just being penis and vagina sex.
The most popular or
penis and
whatever. No, the most popular thing that's considered a fetish, basically. Right? That's not like whatever you're normally into, I guess.
Well, sort of very heteronormatively, I said penis and vagina sex, but really just normal, just sex between partners, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not my jam, but it does seem to show up.
I think you actively hate feet.
That's correct.
Yeah, Graham is grossed out by feet, kind of.
They're just. I'm not
walk on them,
attracted to them exactly. They're a very utilitarian body part.
Yeah.
I'm not attracted to them in any way. Blame Quentin Tarantino. That pops up a lot. It's true.
All right, so stories.
I mean, that's part of one of them. You may as well just keep talking about the Sims thing.
I mean, that's about it, right? It's just a really thorough mod with a lot of foot stuff.
It's like this guy has spent. It's like this. There's a large amount of resources being spent on this, which is interesting.
I mean, in this case, in a mod that's just about Sims and sex and stuff like that.
Coughing someone.
Fine, right? It's when we were playing a game on Watch and Play, where this weird horror game that whenever your character died, there was this ridiculous animation of them dying, and in every single one of them, her shoes would fall off and her feet would be prominently placed in shot, and it's in that situation, it's this is not the time to get your
foot thing
to work out your foot stuff. I like Quentin Tarantino's movies. I also don't think his movies are the place to work out his foot stuff, Just because someone mentioned it in chat.
Foot stuff.
I don't know.
It's like butt stuff, but somehow less acceptable. People are like when Tina on Bob's Burgers is damn butts. People are like, nah, that's funny. But foot stuff, you're like, oh, that's weird. But one of those body parts has poo come out of it.
Yep. But because less people, the less people that are into something,
Yeah.
This is why. This is how we separate. It's I like this thing, but I'm not weird. right? Everybody
Right.
wants to be able to say that about themselves.
I just caught
Yeah.
a coughing. Look how happy he is, Graham. Look at that. And just meh.
Why do coughing look so happy?
And why do wheezings look so sad?
Well, because they've been taped to another coughing.
Yeah, they're really unhappy roommates. But he's so cute and so happy. Look at how happy he is, Chad.
Thank you, Zed Alpha. I like buttocks, but ani creep me out. Is that how you spell that? A-N-I-I?
I have never had an occasion to use the plural form.
To need a multiple anus sentence.
All right, what else are we talking about?
Okay, there was an article on Kotaku that some people have found that No Man's Sky is a great game to stream or do Let's Play videos of if you are if you're into ASMR. There's apparently a subset of ASMR. I don't know if it's a subset of Let's Players or a subset of ASMR people.
It's like a Venn diagram.
It's like a Venn diagram, yeah. But there's people who do ASMR Let's Play videos, and people have taken to wandering around space and mining and leveling up their ship. And apparently, it's a good game for it.
So people like that, but Graham notices that you hear
Well, this was just the ones that they linked to. I didn't like
a lot of like breathing in, smacking lips.
I didn't like the ones that they linked to in the article. Why did you use my mic? You have your own mic.
Shush.
I didn't like the ones they linked to in the article because it was just like someone whispering who'd then crank their volume up. So there was like a loud, like there was like a hum, and they were just like talking like this, but they had like you could hear like all their mouth
Spit?
stuff. Yeah.
Rolling around.
Yeah, I
in
feel
there.
like that's not some people are more sophisticated in there. Although apparently one of the people who's
Oh, what is ASMR? I'm sorry. I know the last two words are meridian response.
it's like auto-sensory meridian response.
Yeah, it's basically when like certain sounds make you go sort of like, they sort of make you tingle.
Yeah.
You sort of feel it like into your head and your neck and whatever.
I mean,
They
most people
give you,
get that with
goosebumps or
like
whatever.
music. Certain music will do that to a lot of people, but some people get it from like
There you go.
people's voices.
Autonomous sensory meridian response. There it
Autonomous
is.
sensor.
Yeah.
It's one of the people who was talking about doing it with No Man's Sky had previously been doing it with Skyrim. And the idea being just like walking around in Skyrim, not actually like doing quests and stuff, but
Right.
just like walking through. I think the idea is it's basically just using the video game as like a backdrop for the, whatever whispering about, oh, here's a tree or whatever.
Right. That's true. It's not a sex thing. It could be. Some people, I think, are into that from that perspective, but it's not like it's not explicitly a sex thing.
Yeah, I would call it sort of maybe it is next door.
Yeah.
There's a blur there.
Yeah.
There's a blurring of
It's
the
another,
edges.
it's another Venn diagram.
Another Venn
I
diagram.
hear a dog.
Is TQ here?
And then there's of course the
Hi, Taylor.
even more complicated Venn diagram of people who are into ASMR done by feet. Which
Just rub your foot on the microphone? Or?
I'm assuming is a thing.
feel
I don't know offhand, but I would guess it is.
This is totally unrelated to anything, but I bet Edith Slump from Corpline has a very profitable side business making ASMR YouTube videos.
Wow.
I think everybody should just be able to do their own thing, Graham.
Interplay.
Something inherent in your voice there.
Interplay is selling off a bunch of game properties and IP and characters,
Yeah.
including Earthworm Jim, MDK, Descent,
I mean,
Yeah.
and a bunch of other ones that people have probably never heard of. And I honestly want to email the people who are managing this list and be like, what you got? What's at the bottom of the list?
Yeah, we got $12 and a lot of hopes. What do you want? We could probably give them up to 100 actually.
So,
Like, let's
I don't
not
know,
undersell ourselves.
maybe Tenaple can get Earthworm Jim back.
Yeah, I can imagine Earthworm Jim being picked up by somebody. just to do something with, just because it is I think it is a property. If you're looking for something to not remake, reboot, whatever.
I mean,
I feel like it is a property that has a lot of
Adult Swim Games
nostalgia feel.
is doing a new Toe Jam and Earl. And
Exactly.
honestly, Earthworm Jim I think has a lot more like nostalgia headspace. There was a TV series of Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, but imagine Professor Picklesworth and Earthworm Jim teaming up.
I mean, he
That's
would
what-
probably fit in the Earthworm Jim universe.
Yeah.
There's a
I remember
fish
watching
with a top hat.
I remember watching the show, the TV series. Every episode of the TV series ended with a cow falling on something.
Good times. I mean, that's how the game ended too.
Yeah, but I just love that it was every episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a guy. This
This
video
is
is
just
actually
silly. This is silly.
this video is actually really funny. A guy tried to play Battlefield 1 with voice commands. Did not go well.
No. Partially, I think, because like he was sort of like experimenting with it, and it was bad. Like he was showing like he was like doing like some dictation stuff.
Yeah.
And the whatever voice recognition system he was using was not good.
No, I guess I'm not like, I don't think that Siri is like that much better. Like I've used like Dragon dictation and that was fine.
Yeah.
But like I am spoiled. Like I do text messages and stuff dictating all the time. But yeah, the dictation software this guy was using was like real shady.
Okay, I don't
So like
understand. Hold on.
like the problem he ran into was less. Well, I mean, obviously being like turn left, turn right, shoot, isn't going to get you very far. But half the time his problem was that it wasn't even like registering his commands. Not that the commands weren't being done properly.
What's up?
So I know you're like blah blah blah. Your thing is fine. Let me try some Siri dictation here because my dictation is always awful. So let's try this.
Okay.
Hi Graham, comma. This is a test. It works
Perfect.
fine. Maybe it only works well on Wi-Fi because when I'm driving, it's always awful.
No. Well, when you're driving, there's
more
other like
background
sound and
noise,
stuff.
Yeah.
The
I find that when there's a lot of background noise, if I talk more methodically and watch my enunciation, then Siri has absolutely no problem, comma, and that works pretty well. Period.
my favorite.
I'm really specific with my punctuation when I'm dictating.
My favorite part in the video of the guy doing it is he gets into a tank. And so he's like, forward and, turn left, turn right. And then he figures out, for some reason, when he says fire, I think it's because he's in the driver place instead of the gunner place. So when he says fire, it honks the horn. So he's like, fire. What? Fire.
I didn't realize this, actually. Did you see this, Paul, from Captain Spam? The Earthworm Jim cartoon and the Freakazoid cartoon had some cross-pollination. Apparently, in one episode of Freakazoid, he calls out the Freakazoid narrator and threatens to replace him with the narrator from Earthworm Jim.
Not surprised. They seem very similar.
Yeah.
I guess they were probably done by the same company.
Probably.
I love Freakazoid.
Freakazoid's so good. It was very, very weird, and I'm surprised it got, like, the go-ahead, to be honest. Did they only do one season of it?
No, there's just a couple seasons.
Huh. All right, cool.
But yeah, it's. But yeah, I can imagine that there was a lot of cross pollination between that and Earthworm Jim. They had a similar sense of humor, I think.
Big bummer for people who are playing Bethesda games on PS4, as Bethesda
Has said no mods.
after months of work, because they've been tweeting and having like not great communication for a while. Like people have been talking to Pete Hines on Twitter and be like, your guys' lack of communication on this is really making you look bad, and he's basically like,
I would
yes,
love to communicate.
I know. He's like, I have tried to pass that specific message on to some other people, and they don't seem to care, yeah. So
And it's like one of those situations where it's like until they were sure that it wasn't going to happen,
Yeah.
they didn't want to just burn Sony on
Yeah.
it, right? And then now that it's like no, it's not happening. Like okay, fine, yeah, it's Sony. Sony did it. It's all their fault.
yeah, and it's basically, Yeah, apparently Sony required QA for every mod, which is not
Feasible.
possible. And
A thing that would happen in this
Yeah.
universe.
that's not quite the case, Awkward Burb. I mean, look, okay, it's working fine on Xbox. Xbox One has had mods for 3.5 months now.
And it's like, and
Which, as I said in the story, which Xbox was very clear and quick to point out.
I mean, the whole point of mods is that, Bethesda can't be responsible for everything that happens in the mods, right?
But I mean, the explicitly like adult mods weren't even available on
Right.
On Xbox.
console
yeah.
already. So like there already was a level of moderation, but you can't do like a full QA pass on every mod.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not what you need to do.
I mean, Indy91 does say, Sony, this mod broke my PS4. Get me a new PS4. Like, there is probably, like, I'm not saying it's great, but I mean, I'm sure Sony has reasons why they're like, no, we can't just let, like, anything that meets the content guidelines go up, right?
Yeah, I know, but this
Because,
sort of
like, the thing, well, I mean, Sony's been burned before on people having their personal information compromised and their credit card numbers leaked, right?
Yeah,
So, like, how, if there's no QA pass and it, like, doesn't have titties in it, it could still be like, I'm going to try and get your credit card information out of your PS Plus account, right?
yeah. But the problem is that that the reason this looks bad for Sony is because Sony has also been the reason that cross-platform play has been held up on a couple games, basically because Sony just doesn't want to come to the table, right? They're just we just want to do
Our thing.
this thing, and everything else can.
It's interesting because
We want to keep everything in our garden because we can tend to our garden.
Yep.
But it's
right?
weird because in the last console generation, it was the opposite. Like for the PS3 and the Xbox 360, Sony was very laissez-faire about the whole thing, and Xbox and like Microsoft was the one who was super locked down.
Yeah.
And now it's switched around, which is kind of weird.
So that sucks, and
I'm not saying it's necessarily possible that you get somebody's credit card information out from a mod, but like, so you're like, that's not technically possible. It's like,
Well,
I mean,
other than actually like making a mod that asks them for their credit card info, which you could, some percentage of people might actually fall for, right?
yeah, exactly.
The
The point being,
yeah, it's just I mean, it's a tricky thing. It's not an insurmountable problem, but it's one that obviously Sony doesn't care enough to actually try
it's
to
one that
fix.
Sony has decided they don't want to surmount.
Yeah.
Overwatch has a new update, which is they're calling the high bandwidth update, which is improvements for the sort of the way that it renders what happened. Like it makes
It's the
people's positions in the game and how you see people's positions in the game are maybe not quite the same because the game is figuring out like, well, they're moving at this speed in this direction, so they'll probably
extrapolation
be
stuff,
yeah, they'll probably be there or whatever. So this is the update, which is for PC only, is designed to stop the sort of thing where it's like you get killed when you're hiding around a corner, like when someone shouldn't have been able to see you because they're sort of hitting kind of where you were or where the game thinks you are, kind of thing.
So after you've installed the high bandwidth update, if you keep getting killed, it's because you're bad at the game. Just remember that.
It's an interesting because this is actually something.
I bet that's true for a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
This is something we
it
talked
doesn't
about.
change anything.
I think we mentioned. I don't know if it was like a story, but
'Cause
we
it's-
talked about it afterwards.
It's got either a high ping or a low ping, whichever ping is bad.
It's the 20
latency?
tick or whatever. I've seen Overwatch streamers that they miss or they get killed and they're just like 20 tick.
Yeah.
And it's
so
like,
it's
okay.
there's an interesting aspect of it where we talked about this a couple months ago that when Overwatch first came out, that was actually a big thing or a thing that people were noticing was that they've set their amount of sort of extrapolation to be higher than most first-person shooter type games. With the idea being and the advantage to that is that for people with not so good connections, it smooths out the whole it smooths out the whole experience for them.
I need to go. I hear a wah.
Okay. Well, she's being taken care of.
But the disadvantage is that there's more. The more extrapolation there is, the less you're necessarily exactly what's happening in the game. And so they've I guess relented and realized that they don't have to have quite as reduced things.
Richard Ehrman says, "You youngins, we played Counter-Strike with ping above 1,000." Yeah, I believe you, and that sucked.
Yeah, where it's just like fire somewhere around the person.
That was
See what happens.
bad.
You're still hooked up, Kathleen?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Goodbye.
I smart.
And the other interesting thing about that is because of this setup, it makes it so that when it's doing matchmaking, they'll try to match you against people who have similar net connections as well, so that you aren't going to have like some people getting a more accurate appearance of the game than other people who are in the same game, right?
The Smash player winning the tournament in Tokyo and winning a 66-pound bag of rice. I was reading the article and I was waiting for the punchline, and
It's just like
nope, just won a 66-pound bag of rice and a pair of headphones. It's like,
it's that
okay,
thing where-
Smash Brothers not as popular of the esports.
But it's that thing where people are, there's a esports obviously is becoming more popular as a thing, but it's important to note though that when you say esports, we're talking CS:GO and League of Legends, Dota.
And then to a certain extent, StarCraft. And
But yeah, but it's like the number of games that you could actually you could theoretically play like as a professional, as in make enough money
right.
to play it full time.
Yeah.
Is vanishingly small. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like whatever. Like there are professional Magic players, but it's pretty hard to be a professional Magic player.
Yeah.
And I don't think there are any professional card game players other than Magic. Like I don't think you can be a professional Yu-Gi-Oh player or Pokemon card game player or whatever.
I mean, obviously.
And
Games involving like actual money, like poker, sure. But,
right. And by professional, I mean like it is the majority of your income.
Yeah. But so Machea says it's incredibly popular. Every year Smash has an 80K tournament with the best players. But yeah, 80K, like this guy, the guy who won this tournament, he came second at EVO, and he got $4,000. Mm-hmm. You can't. That's not a living. You can't do that as a living.
Yeah,
right?
That's like a nice bonus, especially when you consider,
I mean, first place got 16,000, but that's still not a living.
And especially when you consider the amount of money that you've probably put into the process.
Yeah, you don't get that good at a game without spending a lot of time playing the game. So, anyway, and I guess we'll talk about Mario Run briefly. Apparently, they're working on some other Nintendo, like a Animal Crossing game for iOS, or they talked about it a while ago. Anyway, it was weird seeing Miyamoto on stage at an Apple event.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the runner looks fine. I will play it.
I think it looks fine, but it was one of those things like it felt like actually a very like old school Jobs move. Like Steve Jobs move where it's like announcing something really exciting or something that sounds really exciting.
It's a Mario game on iOS.
And then trying to sort of maintain the excitement
Trying
to have like get enough momentum from the initial announcement to push through when it becomes clear that it's not actually what.
Yeah.
It's like when you say it's like yes, technically it is a Mario game for iOS, but when you say Mario game for iOS, this is not what you expect, right?
Yeah. Is it not an endless runner? I mean, it's a runner. Is there a difference between a runner and an endless runner? I guess it has an end.
I guess the difference is that I think
one of them. I'm pretty sure one of the modes was just.
I think this is actually I think the one difference might be that it's not like generated. Like there's actually like levels. So it's not. I guess you could. I get it's not endless because theoretically you could beat it.
Interesting.
Like it's not just going forever with
yeah.
random things.
It is interesting that I think you mentioned this. I don't know if you heard it somewhere else or whatever, but this is that iPhone 7 will be the most powerful device that a Mario game has ever been on.
Yeah. Harsh.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, is it really better than like a Wii U? I guess it is.
I mean it is.
Yeah.
They're depending on by what metrics you're looking at, but it's it'll be a tricky. It'll be interesting to see. I guess one of the things that kind of bummed me out about it is that Nintendo, arguably is like one of the greatest game companies in the world. Certainly they are basically the most famous video game company in the world, known for making really innovative games, and also known for making like the definitive games.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, certainly for their own consoles, right? Like nobody knew how to make a 3D platforming game until Mario 64 came out, and everyone's like, oh wait, let's make that.
Sorry, I'm just.
Now just everybody makes. Then everybody just started making different Mario 64 versions.
You can't you can't talk about Apple products on the internet without people telling you their opinions. Apple products is hyped because of little kids.
Cool.
That's like provably not true.
I mean,
But
it's
that's fine.
we have the great interaction between it's like Apple and also Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's like the two rivers of like hype kind of coming in,
Yeah.
and mixing together.
Into an estuary of weirdness.
So, but anyway, so it's like Nintendo is known for like making these like sort of masterpiece things that are like when you think of video games, you think like Mario, Zelda, whatever, right? And so that company came to iOS, and an endless runner was the best thing they could think of to put on it.
Yeah.
Is a little sad. As somebody who uses an iOS device a lot, I was like, oh, is that really what's best for iOS devices? Oh, that kind of makes me sad. I was hoping you guys could have come up with there was some sort of like innovative control system that nobody had thought of yet that you guys were going to come up with, but no.
You definitely think like, oh, we've figured out how to use the accelerometer in this double camera on the 6 Plus, and you can do this thing with it. But no. I mean, maybe they will. But Graham, you really seem to have a pet peeve about Apple haters. Yeah, because I don't care. I don't know why you need to. It's anytime I tweet anything about Apple, I just get people yelling at me to switch to Android, and it's like I don't. You're wasting your breath. I don't give a shit about Android. If you use an Android phone, awesome for you. Go for it. I don't care. Like, I don't tell you what I use. If you talk about your Android phone, I'm not going to be like, well, I just don't identify yourself by the technology you use.
Well, no, it's less like, it's less identifying yourself. Like, identifying yourself with the things that you like is not terrible.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's identifying yourself by the things that you don't like that bugs me.
Yeah.
It's like, as somebody, it's like, I'm not an Android fan, but I do hate Apple.
Yeah.
It's like,
Why?
okay. So it's like I don't want to advocate for Android, but I want to hate Apple.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, it just seems like a very unnecessary thing.
I mean, it's the same with the console wars. It's the same with
Yeah, where it's like,
all sorts of things.
I don't care about the console wars. I just really hate Sony.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that it for stories?
I think so, yeah. Yep. That is going to be it.
Alrighty.
So, thanks so much for joining us for Checkpoint today. Oh, right. We're gonna do this, quick sub welcomes, don't we?
Sub welcomes anyway. We'll see how quick they are. You want to pull it up on there so you can get the...
Pulling it up on here.
So you can get the... See if I can...
Thank you, Guys58. Appreciate that.
There's got to be a good solution to this. Somebody needs to develop a monitor that is in front of it.
Kerasis, no.
Somebody needs to develop transparent cameras. That's the solution.
I have not been disparaging about Android phones in the past. I don't think about Android phones. I do not care about them. They're just not for me. It's whatever. Like, Alex uses one. I'm not constantly giving him shit for it. Like, I just don't care.
There are lots of other things to give Alex shit about.
I think, like, I'm sure I've said that it's it must be difficult to, maintain like software consistency when you have to build the software for all these different devices. That's like that's because Apple, for better or for worse, keeps their shit so locked down that that as a developer you'll know, like, I can, I know that this will work on this, but for Android you have to accommodate more sort of more different devices. And that's probably a negative, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Android phones are bad. Stop telling me what I think.
All right, you listening?
Yep, I am up to speed here.
Alrighty. See if this works. Yay!
Richard Ehrman with a 2-month resub says, "Hooray! Greetings from Germany." Welcome back. Croisvois. Croisvois 1 with a 5-month resub says, "Can someone please give me gaming news now?" Exachix Kitsune with a 12-month resub. The 1 year says, "Woo, sub birthday." Welcome back, Exachix Kitsune. L Fuzzy with a 32-month resub says, 3.5556 sub babies. Just spread the extra limbs around. I'm sure it will be fine. It's terrifying. Flickers1 with a 6-month resub says, halfway there. Thank you, Flickers. Appreciate it. Weezer 3000 with a 7-month resub says, point all the checks and check all the points. Peanut. Oh, Peanut.
Peanut of Muhar.
A new subscriber. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much.
Popper Slappin' for 32 months says, yay.
Yay. Phoenix Melior with a 29-month resub says, nice lipstick, Kathleen. No, she isn't here. I'll pass that on.
Nebony subscribed for 18 months in a row, checking all those points.
This is a terrifying name. Propane Psycho with a 4-month resub says, wee, this is fun.
Possibly in the process of doing the thing. Mm-hmm. Hail to the RNG for 19 months in a row. Guess I missed it?
No, you didn't. McFluffums with a 3-month resub says, lovely seeing you all at PAX. Thanks for the good shows. Thank you, McFluffums.
Good for covering for us.
Yes. Underscore with a 19-month resub says, no one should check all those points. No one should check all those points. I got it.
Damn, I'm pretty for 5 months in a row. Now we march to DBX, a bit with our eyes closed.
All the way to DBX. Utilitarian STFD with a 23-month resub says, welcome back from the great Paxoning.
Bearded Canuck for 5 months in a row.
Welcome back. Ryson with a 36-month resub. The 3 years. Welcome back, Ryson, and thank you so much.
Conspicuous Compiler for 6 months in a row. I am so new to the stream.
That is okay, Conspicuous Compiler. Thank you and welcome. Stole username Spaceship has just subscribed.
Oh, jeez.
Got to get some of that No Man's Sky ASMR going as they explore the username galaxy. Welcome, both of you.
Very complicated
Get in
thing
the
going
ship,
on here.
mine all the things, and explore the galaxy.
Hippity Boppity subscribed for 5 months in a row. Squeeba the Squab and Krilling Ye Stooge. I like these sounds. I just like these sounds.
I don't get it, but that's okay. Grakthul with a 31-month resub. Welcome back, Grakthul. Thank you.
Odan Bear for 30 months.
Welcome back, Odin Bear. Thank you for your continued support. Tuckyozi, 32-month resub. Welcome back, Tuckyozi. Thank you so much.
Zin Hong for 33 months in a row.
Says, woo, woo. Thank you so much. Ilisine with an 11-month resub. Welcome back, Ilisine. Thank you.
Nementhil. For 2 months in a row. Greetings from Sweden. Thanks for keeping me sane through a lot of bad times.
Cheers, Nementhil. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aldous P has just subscribed. A new subscriber. Welcome, Aldous P. Thank you.
Koizum for 2 months in a row. Been thinking about the whole month to write my first resub message, only to blank now.
Oh.
Well, you got another month.
Well, thank you, Koizum. And Zed Alpha with a 7-month resub says, always a fun time to watch LRR take the piss out of ridiculous gaming things. Nice job, guys. Thank you, Zed Alpha.
Really got to change that so if there are no bits, it doesn't actually.
Thanks for 0 bits. Yeah, you gotta.
Thanks.
We gotta change that. Wow, that looks so passive aggressive.
Yeah. Thanks to no one for 0 bits.
Thank nobody. That's so. No, let's not do that again. And we have the mug here. Where was it? I was going to show off the checkpoint mug because we actually have some here now.
Wait, we should have them on
Philippe
the desk.
Modesto with 50 bits says, sorry. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Philippe. Appreciate it. It wasn't depressing. It was just sort of funny. But I appreciate it. Thank you for the 50 bits. All right. That's going to be it for Checkpoint today. Tonight is, Matters of Import.
Matters of Import.
With a game that I believe Beach and Ian got given at PAX, and it's a fighting game, but instead of it like people fighting, you drive construction vehicles.
Sounds good to me.
I'm super excited. So stick around for that in a little under 4 hours here tonight on Matters of Import.
And then tomorrow morning, or tomorrow, is the New Day Tuesday with the new Phoenix Wright.
Yes.
Heather's going to be playing the new Phoenix Wright game.
Yeah, Heather's going to be playing Phoenix Wright. And here
surprise
we have
baby.
Here we have a baby just as we sign off. Penelope, can you say goodbye to the internet? Can you wave?
Somebody said you had nice lipstick, Kathleen.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Phoenix Melior.
Hi, Penelope.
Are you excited? Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, that's it for today.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.